What's going on? It's January 23rd, 2026, and of course, we need to get into all the latest updates with this weekend's winter storm. This storm is going to come together today, and over the next 48 to 72 hours, it's going to begin to move its way off into the north and east. We'll discuss the high and low end snow potential, ice potential. I also want to talk about this signal that's showing up next week. The GFS has another southern snowstorm and a major nor'easter. Is this going to happen? We don't know yet, but we do see the potential for something like this across the models, so we'll entertain it and we'll talk about the possibilities. And who could see record cold temperatures as we push through this weekend and into early next week. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And of course, if you like the video, like the video. Let's get into the weather updates. Let's quickly begin with a live look at the states. You can see we have some lake effect snow moving through the UP of Michigan and along the western coast of Michigan right now. We also have some lake effect snow streaming into portions of upstate New York, and we have some moisture moving into portions of Arizona and New Mexico. You can see all of our winter storm warnings up there in northwestern Michigan, the UP of Michigan, upstate New York, and then down there in the southern plains. I did find this very interesting. There's some serious snow banding happening up here in the UP of Michigan. And taking a look at our satellite, you can see our Baja Low spinning off the coast here, and it's beginning to send all that moisture into the southern plains. Here's our polar jet right here beginning to settle in Arctic air across the plains as well. These are going to meet up, and then this moisture is going to begin to follow our jet stream up into the northeast, pulling some warm, moist air off the Gulf and Atlantic. This is what's going to fuel our storm. Everything is moving into place right now, so let's take a look at our latest forecast and snow and ice totals. Getting into our 7 to 10 day forecast, here we go as we push through today and into tomorrow morning. We start to get this storm forming down in the southern plains. It really begins developing late this afternoon into the evening hours. And as we get into around 6 a.m. tomorrow, we have a full-fledged winter storm for the south. We're potentially snowing from northern Nebraska all the way down to the Oklahoma-Texas border. We have a major ice storm beginning to form here through Texas, Arkansas, and then out through northern Mississippi, and we have tons of rain falling in southern Texas. Let's move forward in time through Saturday afternoon and into Saturday night. Now we potentially have ice falling from the Carolinas all the way out through western Texas. You can see that snow beginning to move into the mid-Atlantic, and it's still stretching out towards the southern Rockies. And still pay attention to all of this rain down here because we're going to have some Arctic air moving in right after this storm. So if you have a wet surface, a lot of this can turn to ice, and this can have some major road and travel implications. All right, pushing into Sunday morning, and this storm has slowed down a little bit, but pushing into Sunday morning, this is around 6 a.m. This is when we start to get heavier snow moving into DC, Baltimore, Philly, maybe even New York City. New York City might need to wait a little bit longer, more towards Sunday afternoon, but you can see the ice is beginning to really amplify here. We still potentially have freezing rain from Dallas all the way out through Charlotte, Raleigh, and then maybe up through portions of southern Virginia. Getting into Sunday afternoon, now we have snow moving into Boston. We're probably snowing pretty heavy from DC up through New York City. Now, I know the Euro thinks this may be a little bit of sleet, ice mix here in DC, Baltimore. Some of the other models disagree and bring the snow a little bit further down to the south. We'll see. We're going to go over the high and low potential for you guys here in just a second. Obviously, we're snowing really good in the Ohio Valley right now, but that ice is still falling for portions of the southeast. And we push into Sunday night, and now the storm is really cranking up for New England. You can see here, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. It's moving up the coast through Maine. We're still snowing heavy potentially through portions of Pennsylvania and upstate New York as we get some back end snow as this system begins to move out as we move into Monday morning. Now, what's behind this system? Well, take a look at where our 540 line is. This thing is collapsed. It is going to be absolutely freezing across the plains and out east, even through portions of the central to northern Rockies. And with all of this cold air moving forward, there's going to be the potential for some flakes again down here in the south and potentially up the coast, I think. And we're going to go over that in a second. Let's move forward here. Cold air continues to collapse. We have a little bit of a clipper system showing up on the Euro, maybe bringing a little bit more snow for the Midwest and then potentially out towards the coast there. Now moving over to the GFS as we get into next weekend, here we go. We see some moisture moving off the Gulf. Again, we have that Arctic freezing air down here in the south, and this is when we see the possibility of a southern snowstorm. This would be like last year's crazy southern snowstorm. I don't know if this snow gets this far south, guys. We still need a lot of time to figure out this forecast, so take this with a huge grain of salt. But the GFS does give us still an opportunity for that southern snow and then potentially a major nor'easter. Is this going to happen again? I don't know. Let's take a look at the national blend real quick though. Are other models seeing it? You can see we get these darker grays down here as we get into Saturday morning on the national blend, which is decent confidence for 190 hours out. And then we move forward here and the national blend is highlighting this area as well, which means we've got a lot of different members from our models that are showing the potential for this as well. So again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I do like showing you guys signals when they're showing up. Don't expect a southern snowstorm next weekend. Don't expect a nor'easter next weekend. Just know that one is on the table, and and over the next few days, we're going to figure out if this is a real signal or not. All right, now I want to take a quick look at the expected snow and ice totals from the National Weather Service and the high and low end totals. Let's quickly start with our expected snow totals, and you know where you are on this map. If you're up in this region here, the National Weather Service is talking about anywhere between really 1 to 5 inches of snow. As you get into the darker blues, we're getting up there towards 4 to 5 inches, and that's going to be the same with this region down here, with this lighter blue to darker blue. As we get into these lighter yellows here, into these oranges, we're going to be talking about 6 to 7 inches of snow, and then this middle portion here, we could be talking about 8 to 12 inches of snow. You could even surpass 12 inches in some of these areas. Moving out to the east, we're seeing the same thing, potentially 2 to 5 inches down here, we'll say. This region right here in particular could get hit really hard. The National Weather Service thinks this whole area has a chance of seeing over 12 inches of snow. Someone in here could see 16 plus, I think. We're still seeing the potential stretching from DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York City, all the way up towards Boston for 8 to 12 inches of snow, maybe even a little bit more. Getting into our high end, these totals really begin to stretch north, not as much south. You see them really stretching north though on the high end. Suddenly we have this whole region in here that could be seeing over a foot of snow. This is about a 10% chance of happening. That's why it's the high end and not the expected amount. And on the high end, we're seeing this region up here potentially seeing 18 to 20 plus inches of snow, according to the National Weather Service. There's the possibility of low end snow as well, only about a 10% chance of happening, but here it is. We would only see 3 to 6 inches in a lot of these areas. Obviously still up here, even on the low end, the National Weather Service is expecting somewhere between 6 to 9 inches. Ice is extremely important to talk about. Through this region right here, this is the expected amount of ice. This could be anywhere between a quarter to a half inch of ice. Be prepared in this region. Obviously, 2 areas on here really stick out. We're talking about southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, central to northern Mississippi, western Tennessee. We're also looking at northern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, and then a lot of North Carolina and eastern Virginia here. If we were to see these type of numbers, I'm talking about an inch plus of ice, and this is the expected amount. Expect power to be out for a while. Expect some trees to come down. Expect to not be able to drive. And right behind this, we have that Arctic air moving in, so this ice is going to stick around for a little bit. Not the best situation. We've had time to prepare. You still have a little bit of time to prepare, especially if you're out here towards the southeast and east coast. I really don't even want to go over the high-end ice potential, but I'll show you here. This would be a catastrophic ice storm, but you guys see where this is. You guys know where you live here. This would be very, very bad. I mean, from Texas through Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, even going up into Kentucky and West Virginia and Maryland potentially on the high end. Even if we get super lucky with this, we're still seeing potentially close to a half inch of ice for some people. So it's inevitable. Someone's going to get a big ice storm here. Just make sure you're ready. Make sure you have a plan. Do we see relief from the cold air moving forward? Well, here is the European 10-day temperature anomalies. And unfortunately, not much. Not much if you're in the plains and out east. Maybe average to slightly above average for portions of the west, but again, central and out east, it looks to remain cold. Taking a look at our 500 millibar height anomaly on the European ensemble, it does look like we may want to get some ridging pushing back out east, but still, I'm looking at the direction of this jet stream and we're just getting this northwesterly flow into the east. So maybe the plains warm up a little bit, but I don't know about the east coast here in the short to midterm. And the teleconnections agree. I mean, look at our Arctic oscillation. It's extremely negative. European AI, GraphCast, Euro weeklies, GFS, and we have a negative NAO as well. So tons of snow chances maybe still ahead over the next 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month. I don't want to get ahead of myself though. Where are we going to break some temperature records? Well, watch what happens as we get into Sunday down there in the southern plains. Here we go. We're starting to break some records in Texas, Oklahoma. We get into Monday and everyone in the central to southern plains is now breaking temperature records. All-time daily lows. We push out towards Tuesday and Wednesday. We still have some all-time daily low records being broken, now stretching from the southern plains all the way up to almost New England. Here's your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, your 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, and your 3 to 4 week temperature outlook. Like I said, we're cold. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, if you like the video, like the video. I try and upload content like this every single day and live stream every day to answer all of your weather-related questions. If you want to join the best weather Discord out there, the link to my Discord is in the description of every single one of my YouTube videos. Tons of weather enthusiasts in there, lots of amazing weather information and daily updates. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream.